you know. Once you get into the network, people understand what you do and the calls just come in. You don't just be on the internet looking for contractors. You want to know someone who knows someone.
Have a guest, Juwariya Abdul Kareem. Today we're talking about the transition from corporate to entrepreneurship. What made you decide to go into entrepreneurship?
I think my best friend's mother passed and I was working on this project and it was just some weird stuff going on and I'm just like, life is too short for this. Why am I coming to work and with anxiety? I was getting married at the time and my husband worked for himself and he was like, you don't need these people. Come work with me. I'll introduce you to my network. And that was it. I put in my notice. I quit.
Juwariya did do like store layout and stuff like that for the fashion industry. You can speak about that and then the transition from that into what you do now.
Well, I mean, architecture and fashion are very similar, right? Because one, the garment needs to stay on and the building needs to stay up. How can we do those things and make it pretty? You can have a garment that stays up for a very short period of time and is really cheap. Or you can have a garment with the finest materials and all the structure and it lasts you for ages. Same concept. And all the money goes into things you don't see. But it stands up, it functions, it's comfortable. But with that, I'm working on large projects. You just become someone who does one thing. So you just become the bathroom designer, or you just become the one who designs the curtain wall or the skin of the building. And I didn't want to get pigeonholed into just doing one thing. I wanted to understand more about the industry in general. So I started from these big firms and kind of worked my way down. And then I ended some way in retail. So I worked for Urban Outfitters, Anthropologie. We did the revamp for McDonald's, which is now McCafe. It's very, very fast paced. And it's like you finish with one store and then you're on to the next. So it's no breather. It's just, you know, they kind of drain you of ideas and all your energy. But it was a lot of fun, right? Because you get to see your creations happen real time and fast. Like a store is done in 3 months.
And just by the way, Juwariya did design my kitchen. So that's a side plug. So you started in architecture, you made the transition, you did retail, you did a lot of that type of thing. And that's when you decided to move on and start your own business with your husband. And what was that?
I interned my way through college. And so when it was time for me to graduate, I got a job right away. I was going back and forth between being a corporate hire and being a consultant. When you're a corporate hire, you work salary. You don't get paid overtime. They work you till you're done and then you got to come back the next day. And as a consultant, no, man, you pay me per hour. So you need to organize how you want to spend my time because after a certain time, it's double time. And I can say no, I can leave when I want, you know, you have a lot more autonomy and people respect your time a whole lot more. Like you can't just have me doing something and change your mind, you know. It's 9 o'clock, I gotta go home. So when I left corporate, through that, I worked with Kate Jack Spade and they were trying to come up with a new brand for their outlet store. It's all about who you know. Once you get into the network, people understand what you do and the calls just come in. Even though it's a digital age and construction is still a word of mouth industry. You don't just be on the internet looking for contractors. You want to know someone who knows someone. Still don't have a big online presence because I get most of my clients through word of mouth. Building up that network through my husband's network is what kind of established me, and also consulting on the side, taking gigs here and there.
So how did you transition from architecture to the wellness?
Having kids. So living my life by myself, I can stay at work to 9 o'clock and then wake up and, you know, be back at 9 o'clock in the morning. I can do that. But once kids hit, it's like, this ain't going to work. And if you know the New York City hustle with, you know, daycare, and then you got to pay for early care and then you got to pay for aftercare, I'm working to have someone else raise my children. You know, the world is backwards. I'm not crazy. The world is backwards. Everyone says that children are the best thing and the most important thing. So why I'm not spending time with them?
What exactly is your company now?
I am transitioning from purely architecture to more wellness in general. You know, the wellness of my mind, my soul, my environment. How do you like to run your life? And then we can design your house around that, making you feel better. I mean, like if you're a person that hates the sun, let's not put your bedroom where the sun rises early in the morning. You know what I mean? If you're not a morning person. Through my children, I've gotten more conscious about the food I eat and just the things I put in my skin. My son has really severe eczema, so I started making my own body products.
So what is the name of your company and what do you sell?
So the name of the company is Moju Design Wellness Collection. So it's several different things. So instead of producing drawings for people, I'm moving more into architectural consulting. So if you have never worked on a construction project before and you're just a homeowner, you might benefit from my service in terms of, what to expect when dealing with a contractor. You're doing this big renovation. Is that something you really need to do? Do you need to invest that money in this house or do you need to move? Things like that can help people live a better life within their spaces. And then I also make body products that I sell.
What was your fear making the transition from corporate to entrepreneurship?
Healthcare. Oh my God, I don't want to get sick. What do I want to do if I get in a car accident? Oh my God, I can't afford this. Like, you have to understand, I consulted before. So if anything, I can always pick up a consultant job. But it's like, hey, I got to pay. If anything happens, I got to pay this healthcare bill. As long as I don't get into some major accident, I'll be okay.
So if anyone wanted to basically get into the space that you're in, like either architecture or transitioning to their own business, like what advice would you give them?
Don't be afraid to try new things and try to get into a network. Like, my first internship came from Sahia. That started it all.
So how would you define like happiness now?
Happiness is waking up and doing whatever I feel like doing.
Would you say that you've had any setbacks and how did you overcome them?
My biggest obstacle is thinking that I need to work 10 times harder to get half as far. That's not my story. That's my parents' generation, their story, and it served them, but that's not my story.
Is there anything that you want to add that we haven't spoken about?
Don't be afraid to experiment. I mean, this is what life is about. Have fun doing it.
Where can people find you if they want to reach out for you for your services?
Well, I have a website, moju.design, where pretty soon you can purchase whatever products that I come up with, and also book consultation services for architectural design. These two communities that you'll probably see me in is the My Reflection Matters Village and Deep Lounge Place. It's on Teachable and it's also on Substack. And these are all other mothers and parents, caregivers that understand the importance of children and the liberation of children. Like, if we can't keep using tools of oppression and thinking that we're going to raise liberated kids. And that takes a completely rewiring of how we do things, how we think about education. So these communities really helped me.
How do you approach tough decisions in business?
Honesty. And that took a lot of growth, because in the beginning it was like, oh my God, I'm the professional. I don't want to make a mistake. So I have to now start thinking for people. And that's always got me in more trouble than just saying, hey, look, I'm inviting you into this situation. Yes, I'm the professional, but no one knows everything. And I'm still growing. And I don't know everything about architecture. And hey, look, this is a little beyond my realm of understanding. We might need to hire someone.
All right, I'm Letitia Winston of Keeping You at Stitches, along with Zahir Abdul Karim of Cover Me Chic and Regent Design Agency, Naima Doja of Fearless Threads, and our guest, Juwariya of Moju.Design.